if it wasn't for this, second round draft pick John Beck guy, who knows what would have happened? But unfortunate timing, which is what led me to coaching, right?
Fredette for the lead. Yes! Fredette to the three. Bullseye! What a shot by Fredette!
Lunchtime, the boy gave us more trays than
He's got his J back, folks, and the eye of the tiger.
You're tuned in to Built from the Logo with Jimmer Fredette.
Let's make some history. I am Spencer Linton. He is Jimmer Fredette. We are Built from the Logo. Great to have you with us for our deep range conversations about life inside and well beyond the world of sports. Jimmer, how was your unforgettable, historic, core memory weekend now that your jersey is forever hanging in the rafters of the Marriott Center in Provo, Utah?
It was a whirlwind. We were just everywhere. We got there Thursday night, and then Friday morning all through, Saturday evening, we were just kind of on the go doing unbelievable stuff. I cannot credit BYU enough for how well they treated us this weekend. Every little detail was incredible. 32 everywhere, Jimmer everywhere, my teammates, and just memories just flooding back all over the place. Just absolutely incredible, and something that we will absolutely never forget. And now we're back home, back at real life, and the kids are all sick, of course. So we're back in it, baby. We're back in it, baby. That's how it works. Awesome weekend, and now we're real life again.
Congratulations. All of your children now need 24/7 care.
Yes.
Oh, man. I'm sorry to hear that they're sick, but it feels like the weekend was worth it, no?
Oh, it was absolutely worth it. Everyone had a blast, and we made it all the way through the weekend. I think it was more, they're a little sick more because how tired they were, right? They were just on the go the whole time, sleepovers, just not sleeping enough, having fun, just overstimulation. And now they're, today's a day off of school, so they're able to kind of relax, decompress. This is good for us. They'll be ready for the rest of the week. But it was amazing.
What a weekend, to say the least. As always, our purpose in this podcast is to uplift, educate, and entertain. And it was an entertaining weekend. We do so with an array of topics, often centered on impactful moments, like a jersey retirement, perhaps, and decisions that have shaped the lives of Jimmer, myself, and our MVP guests. As always, we are building for something better and doing it together. Speaking of great guests, you were able to connect with in person last week's guest, Danny Ainge, who I just can't get over how unbelievable his array of life experiences and stories is. He is one of the most interesting people in the world.
He really is. And people, obviously know who Danny Ainge is because of the basketball and the Celtics and all that he's done. And don't trade with Danny Ainge, those types of things where they think, he's competitive, he's a killer. He's all these different things, right? But he's also just a really nice, down-to-earth person, a very faithful person, someone who's been a bishop, someone who's done a lot of different things with the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And so he has an array of topics that he can talk about, right? And he is just an awesome dude. It was great to connect with him. Obviously, his jersey is up in the rafters. So to be able to see him, talk with him, shake his hand, go through those emotions, have him be there for that moment was absolutely special. So, whenever we shake each other's hands now, we have that mutual respect of hey, we're in the rafters together. It's a pretty cool thing. So it was awesome to talk with him, and what an episode it was.
How about that? Your jersey is hanging next to Danny Ainge's in the Marriott Center. And I'm glad your kids pointed out, Jimmer, the numbers on your jersey are the biggest, clearly 32 of any number up there hanging at the Marriott Center.
Yeah, Taft was like, your number's way bigger than everybody else. What is going on there? And it's just sheer luck that our jersey had really big numbers on it at that time, right? They just took a replica of the jersey that was going on, and my numbers were just huge, right? So, maybe I have to put it back in my top 5 jerseys because they did right with the numbers and how big they were. I didn't realize that was a great little dynamic they had on the jersey. But yeah, it was funny with Taft.
I love the attention to detail from Taft. By the way, is he 5 years old, Jimmer?
6. He's 6 right now. Yep.
6 going on 16, brother. That kid is a hoot.
It's hilarious. They have a video. There was one video that BYU took like in the morning on Friday where literally we got into the ceremony, right? Like they were like, all right, we're going to show you your jersey all the way down so you can go touch it and feel it before we bring it up for that night. We just want it to be me and the kids and Whitney, and that was it. So we were there, and I get there and I go out first. And I watch the video that they have on board, and then I walk over to the jersey, and it's emotional and all that stuff. And then all of a sudden they have the kids and Whitney run out afterwards, and the kids were sprinting, right? So we get there and we're down and we look over, they look at the jersey for a second. And Taft's like, I need a basketball. Can I shoot? He's like, where are the basketballs? That's literally what he asked. I was like, could we have like a moment here with a family, take some pictures? And all this stuff. No, I need a basketball. So we finally got him a basketball, and they took a video of him shooting. And they had the jersey in the background lit up, and he's in there in the dark, and he's shooting with his backwards hat 32 on. And he made a shot, and they got that footage, and it's gone like viral. So Taft is, I think that's the most watched video, I think, so far out of all the videos this weekend. So good work, Taft, for getting out there and getting some basketball in. It's funny.
He's wired like his dad. In a gym,
he's
there's
ready
a
to
basketball who give me a basketball.
He's like, let's go. I need it now.
And we should point out, I learned something about you over the weekend, Jimmer, during a roundtable conversation with some of the folks in the BYU Athletic Marketing Department and Sports Information Department.
Yeah.
Because I asked you the question, when did it become okay in your mind to start shooting from way beyond the 3-point line? At what point were you like, yeah, this is a good idea? And it began way earlier than I expected it to.
Yes, it was. That was back when I was in like 2nd or 3rd grade. Because we had our local team, right? Glens Falls, we put our local team together. We're like, all right, it's my friends. We're 2nd grade. We want to play against other teams. There's no leagues or anything like that out there that are like, the junior jazz that they have in Utah or anything like that. It's just, it's a small town. There's not a whole lot going on. So we found a team in Fort Edward that was a little bit older than us that were like, hey, let's go play these guys. Let's have some fun. We're going and shooting and we're getting in the layup line, and my dad goes to their coach. He's like, hey, do you guys count 3-point shots? And the guy's like, what do you mean? Do we count 3? Like, we could barely make layups. Like, we're working on that right now. He's like, my dad's like, well, we got a kid that can make 3-pointers. So can we count them? And the guy's like, I guess so. That person was me, right? I was the kid that was shooting 3-pointers in 2nd, 3rd grade and making them. So because of that, I've always shot from deep distances. That's because I played with TJ. That's the way it worked, right? I had to shoot outside, had to learn how to use the legs, and just kept it going ever since.
Jimmer range began as a 7 or 8-year-old. That is unbelievable. Holy cow. So yeah, again, it's no surprise Taft wants to do what he is doing as a 6-year-old. With that said, we are ready to hoop in the opening tip-off. And here is our starting lineup today. Jimmer, your jersey was actually retired twice. We'll get into the details of that. The Early Trey also features some incredible shout-outs from some of the biggest personalities in all of professional sports broadcasting. Wait until you see those and hear from those incredible people, all focused on shouting out Jimmer. We have, as our featured VIP guest today, the new offensive coordinator of Michigan football. He is a guy who has moved 4 times in the last 5 years. His ascent has been remarkable in the world of college football coaching. He is Jason Beck. Can't wait to talk to him, Jimmer. Fascinating story. And you want to talk about sacrifice, how difficult it is on a family? Like he and his kids and wife Jamie are doing it right now.
Yeah, they are. And I've been in those shoes before. We talk about it a little bit, where when you move during season, after season, like moving a lot, because I had to move several times, during my career and go from place to place, a year after year, different cities, different countries, all of these different things. And he's, 4 times in 5 years and just, gone, just going from Syracuse to in Virginia and, BYU and now Michigan, Utah, like all these places. Like he's been everywhere. It was a really fun conversation. He's a great guy. Michigan is lucky to have him as the offensive coordinator. So I'm excited for Michigan fans to tune into this one.
And he gives Michigan fans a taste of what is about to happen in Ann Arbor with that offense. And everywhere he's gone, he has produced explosive offenses with NFL quarterbacks. His track record speaks for itself. Excited to hear that. But I almost love the most that it has impacted how steady and faithful he is in looking to the heavens and to God wherever he goes. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, he's awesome. Great dude, just a faithful guy. I think that plays a lot into his character and who he is. And I think people and players feed off of that. They see he's a genuine person. He's not going to try to treat people a different way than what he feels is right and necessary. And then he's obviously an incredible offensive mind, right? He's very, very creative. And, it was a fun conversation.
So you have that to look forward to, as well as a loaded edition of Open Gym. Jimmer could not get into his own jersey retirement. What in the world? You couldn't get into your own jersey retirement?
Partially my fault, okay? Partially my fault. I was not prepared. I was not ready to go. And I will take at least 50% of the blame on this one. And we'll talk about it later.
So good. How's that for a teaser? Oh, my goodness. All right. The hat, all to come on From the Logo. And don't forget the always critical and very important grammar pet peeve of the week.
I knew that was coming.
It's gaining popularity, Jimmer.
It
gaining
actually
popularity.
It might be our most popular segment at some point.
We're getting
very
more DMs. We're getting more DMs about that probably than anything else that we do.
It's amazing.
Exactly how you planned it, right?
Yeah. A grammar podcast.
I want to say I'm sorry, but I'm not. I'm not. It's okay. We're building great speakers of the English language as well. Okay, let's take our shot with the Early Trey. 3 top-of-mind subjects to set the pace and get this conversation rolling at a high level. Jimmer, I don't even have to ask, but are you ready to shoot?
Yeah, this is a big one. Yes, absolutely.
All right, let's get into more of the emotional spectrum of what you just went through over the last, let's say, 72 hours in an unbelievable weekend. Now that you have had time to decompress a little bit, how are you viewing what happened between Friday and Saturday night?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to put into words. It was just such a special weekend. And we've been looking forward to it for a while. We've been getting logistics ready, as we've talked about in this podcast, of who's going to be there, the dinners, tickets for the game. We had bookstore signing. We had roundtable discussions. We had media. We had first looks of jerseys and, Sports Nation and kind of all these different things that we knew were going to, come with the territory. We just loved every second of it. Like, it was probably one of my most memorable weekends that I've ever had to this point. And it's something that I will absolutely never forget. Just the amount of content that we were able to capture. It was awesome, because this is stuff that my family, my kids, future generations are going to be able to see, and they're going to be able to relive it. And they're going to see what the speeches were like. They're going to be able to see what the atmosphere was like. They're going to see the behind the scenes of what was going on. In our hotel room and what was going on in our hotel room when we first arrived at the Marriott in the downtown Marriott that they had, with hundreds of notes that were written by fans just showing love and appreciation to us, and all the gear that they gave us, and all branded 32 for my family, for my kids, and just above and beyond. Super emotional. Brought back all of the memories, both on and off the court. From playing, from the bus rides, from, the Sweet 16 run, to my freshman year, to, going to San Diego State and winning, and just like everything, it just all comes back. So just one of those things where, unbelievable, can never forget it. And, just super, super proud of what I was able to accomplish at BYU, and, happy to have it, up in the rafters forever.
I forgot about the handwritten notes. I know you had mentioned it, but that's quite the welcome. And if you're ever having a bad day, dude, just open up a few of those.
It's amazing. It's amazing. And, just so genuine. And people, like I said, literally hundreds of them that were just laying on the table that they put out, all, just showing appreciation and love. And, that was really, really a cool way to start the weekend, right? Of them just showing that appreciation. And of course, one of them said, "I love your wife's TikToks." And that's the one Whitney found first and said, "Hey, just so you know, this is on here as well. Just so you know."
She deserves a lot of credit, no doubt about it. In fact, I saw one social media post say, "Hey, I love your new hat that's being designed by Wooden Grail. Can you cross-stitch your family, your wife and kids onto that hat as well? If so, then I'll buy it." They want the whole family involved in the hat.
I know. Maybe we'll have to do another one with the family, because that'll be a big hitter for sure.
All right, we mentioned that your jersey was actually retired twice because you hung out with me and Jerem Jordan on BYU Sports Nation, and we had a Fredette jersey there hanging in Studio B.
He did. Slowly
being raised to the rafters at the end of our interview. I think if you listen subtly, you can hear the chain in the back of going.
You absolutely can. It wasn't subtle. It wasn't subtle. We could hear it everywhere.
Gotta get some WD-40 on that thing.
Yeah, for real.
And you were very quick to point out, is that a clothes hanger?
Yes. It was literally on a clothes hanger. Like it was on a hanger, and you just pulled it up the thing, and it goes like 4 feet, right? It goes all the way up there. It was a special moment, Spence, right? Like, man, that was just as special as the actual retirement. Whoever did that was very creative, I will say, with Sports Station. That was very funny. And I think you can't take it down now. It has to stay up. Like, all right, you can't do something like that and have a ceremony and have and have it sitting up there and just take it down. Like, that should be the first jersey retired ever on Sports Nation, and it should stay there. And if I come back and I don't see it, I might not come on the show again. That'd be disrespectful.
Sending a message to
the
producer Colton Potter right
Thank you.
now.
Thank you.
Follow up on that. Really funny and a great way to start off, as you mentioned, just the weekend of weekends. Then you have what BYU head coach Kevin Young called like a prime, super classy event, banquet on Friday night. And one, I thought you were incredible in the speech you delivered. It was so great to hear from Dave Rose, your coach, guest of the show on From the Logo just a few weeks ago as well. And he revealed some things about you, Jimmer, about how proud he is of the fact that you have evolved as a man of fashion now, because apparently you had none when you showed up at BYU.
Zero fashion. Wore the same thing. It had these Nike Dunks, low top Dunks that I had for 4 years. They were completely dark because they used to be white, and then they were dirty. Sweatpants, wife beaters. Like, that's basically what I used to wear, like, all the time. Just whatever it was. And Whitney changed me. I will say that. Whitney changed me for the better as far as how I dress and what to wear at certain events. There are certain times where I could still wear all of my sweat. I mean, I'm generally speaking, I wear workout clothes and sweats most of the time. But there is a time where I do have to get a little bit more dressed up. And Whitney has absolutely changed my wardrobe as far as that's concerned. And a lot of people are like, man, now you went from the worst dressed guy to the best dressed guy in the room, and you don't take any credit for it, right? Just put on whatever she tells you to put on, and just keep doing that. So yeah, it was unbelievable. That whole Friday night ceremony was amazing. I mean, when you walked into the actual ceremony, they had like ice sculptures. They had an ice sculpture of a 32 and an ice sculpture of me shooting. They had pictures. It was like a red carpet event, like an actual walkway over water, and like it was all blue, obviously, and just the entryway was just incredible. Then they had a big beautiful 32, and I mean, just like I said, the detail of everything that they had was amazing. The food was awesome, and the speeches obviously were emotional, and just yeah, a lot of tears were shed that night from a lot of different people, and you could definitely feel spirit strong, and it was one of those nights that was just a lot of fun.
Yeah, I won't soon forget it. And a shout out to David Almadova, Brian Santiago, the entire BYU athletic department, athletic marketing did just a beautiful job of adequately honoring you and the great number 32. But I thought that was fantastic. I thought your wife Whitney's address was also just really emotional, and I'm sure something that you'll never forget.
Yeah, it was. She's been here through it all. Like, she was here before Jimmer Mania happened, and we were together, and she's been able to have a front row seat to everything that has gone on in my career from BYU and beyond. So she's seen the emotional struggle from ups and downs that we've had, and to have her be up there and show her love and emotion and talk about kind of her experience through it all, was something that is that my kids, I think, will love, right? They were sitting there glued. Like, my kids are always running around and doing crazy stuff, and like, they don't want to listen to people. They were sitting there listening to their mother, glued, understanding that she was emotional, that she loved our family and what had gone on. And it was just like, that's a sign of a great speaker right there, when you can get our kids to sit there and listen for the whole time. So it was just, yeah, she did an incredible job.
And your daughter Wesley gave an incredible prayer that was so sweet.
She did.
Just so many things. It was just all so good.
It was all so good. Yeah, that's too many to talk about. We'll be here for 3 days like we were. So it's just, but it was all very well done.
Okay, last thing from that Friday night that we do need to confirm, Dave Rose pointed out that you were going to accept your AP National Player of the Year at the Final Four, and you showed up in the lobby and you didn't have a suit jacket. Yeah, what's the story there, Jimmer?
That is correct. I don't think I owned a suit jacket at that point in my life. I had a dress shirt on, at least, and some pants. Did not
Always
have a
good
suit
to wear
coat.
pants.
Always good to wear pants. The correct, appropriate pants. And didn't have a coat, though. Didn't realize that I needed a coat. As I talked about before, Whitney has taught me during certain occasions how you're supposed to dress in different occasions. I did not know that back then, right? And, we weren't married at the time. She wasn't doing my wardrobe. She was putting up with whatever I was wearing. I'm sure she was cringing at all of it. But
True
at the
love.
same time, did not understand that I thought I was good with just a button down. You know what I mean? I thought it was just good, but coach was like, yeah, you probably should wear a jacket. So he actually had one, went up to his room, brought it down, gave it to me so that I could be appropriate while getting all of my awards down in Houston for the Final Four. So it was, one of those things that's classic Jimmer moment.
I laugh. I'm not going to act like I didn't have my own evolution with fashion, though, Jimmer, and my wife Brittany helping me do the same thing. I'll find at some point, and it won't be that hard because I have pictures going all the way back in my phone right now, but you would be appalled at some of the things I wore on television as an early sportscaster. Oversized suit jackets, working in the summer, literally shorts on and a suit jacket and tie because it's hot outside and I'm doing everything. But just the worst. The suits, Jimmer, I don't know what I was thinking. So shout out to all the wives out there that keep their husbands in line and help them understand what actually looks good.
That's exactly right. We appreciate you all. And, I'm probably, back in the day, I probably thought you would look great. But now I probably was like, all right, Spence, what are you doing? Right. So we're on the same wavelength.
Okay. That takes us to our next little subtopic here from the weekend. And it includes some unbelievable, super cool shout outs from major college basketball broadcast person.
Right? Like the video that you guys all compiled, whether it was you or BYU, just like with Dickie V coming up there and talking about how I changed the game of basketball in college sports and how much he appreciated it. And he went on and talked for like a minute and a half just about the career. And it was just awesome, right? Like Dickie V is college basketball. When you see him and you hear his voice, that's what it is. And to have him, pay homage and shout out, and with Sean, who's been on the show, and with Jay Billis, who's now taking over as, the face of college basketball. And, there's so many more people that had shout outs, on the videos that were just, it was amazing, right? I don't know how you guys compiled them all, but you did. And, that was one of the cooler things, to see all the people and the support, throughout that video. And they kind of played it, at different times throughout the ceremony. So it was really well done. And just, Dickie V was the man. I just love that guy. And, he's fought through a lot, and to have him, be able to celebrate the ceremony with us was pretty cool.
Okay, Jimmer, that takes us to the actual jersey retirement and everything that went into the events at the Marriott Center on Saturday afternoon and into early Saturday evening. And just the welcome that you received when you got to the building was wild. We'll talk about actually getting into the building in just a moment during the open gym. But once you were in the building, it was nonstop celebration. Everybody wanted a piece of Jimmer. It was like Jimmer Mania retirement version.
It was really cool. You walk into the venue, and I mean, it was pretty full when I got there. It was, I mean, the whole student section was there. Everybody was in the building already. So you walk in, and as soon as they see me, obviously a big cheer, chanting Jimmer, all these different things. And my kids are sitting there looking up, and they're like, oh, we're going through this again, right? Like every time we go somewhere, they're continuing to chant and yell your name and all this stuff. And they're just sitting there, and they were like, where's Cosmo? Can I just see Cosmo? Like, that's all they wanted to do. And they wanted to see the cheerleaders. They wanted to see, where their mom had cheered, and, all the cheerleaders and all that stuff. So yeah, it was right from the jump, just, really emotional, and they were just ready to go. And, every time I if I looked over at the student section, they would just automatically start chanting or automatically start cheering. I didn't even have to do anything. I just look over there. And, so really a lot of energy in the building as soon as we got in.
How many autographs do you think you signed in a 48-hour period?
Oh gosh. Yeah. I mean, definitely. I mean, over 1,000 for sure.
Is your hand okay?
Over 1,000 for sure. So who knows what I needed to get a ticker and just be like, just take every time someone did it and just see what that looked like, because that was, it was quite a few autographs, but I was happy to do all of them just cause it was time, and it was that weekend, and I appreciate everybody.
That's you, bro. That's just you, man. Everybody, including your coach, you are so nice to everyone, and that's just a small part of what makes you so special, and what a great weekend this was. We roll into halftime, and the lights go out, and the ceremony begins. What was going through your mind and heart at that moment, minutes before the jersey was revealed for all?
Yeah, I mean, it was again, you're down on that floor, and you know what's coming. And they're like, listen, it's going to be a quick ceremony, so you have to be prepared and ready. Brian Santiago is going to get up there. He's going to get a minute. President Reese is going to get up there. He's going to get 1 minute, and then you get 3 minutes, and then we're done. Because if after the 3 minute mark, we have to cut off your mic basically, because we have a game that's going to happen. So I'm kind of sitting there and taking it all in, everything, but at the same time, I'm trying to figure out, all right, what should I say for this event? What should I say? I have 3 minutes. What do I want to get out in 3 minutes? And that's in between all of the people yelling and screaming for applause, and so you really only have 2.5 minutes or whatever it is. So I'm sitting there thinking about it, and I'm nervous, right? Because I'm speaking in front of almost 20,000 people, and it's don't mess up, don't fumble over your words, whatever that is. But I'm sitting there with my family, and I look down, and I give everybody fist bumps for my family. And my parents were behind me. My brother and sister were behind me. Whitney's parents were behind us, and just gave everybody fist bumps, hugs, all these things. And, then obviously it was my turn to speak. And I wanted to obviously thank everyone involved as much as I could, from the everyone at BYU that put on the event, my coaching staff, my teammates that were in the building, Tom Holmold, the athletic director that was there, Brian, President Reese, and just everybody that I could, and my family and the people and the friends that were in attendance, and then BYU Nation, of course. So I wanted to thank everybody. But at the end of the day, what I wanted to do is I wanted to make sure that people understood that how much I loved this university, but also how how different this university is than others. And that basketball is a part of what I, went there to do. And, it was a big part of what I did. But at the same time, it talks about how you're supposed to go forth and serve. And I wanted the people to understand that it was big. The university is bigger than basketball. It's about being a disciple of Jesus Christ. It's about bringing people to Christ and going out and actually serving others through this platform.
This is unbelievable. Truly just a remarkable experience this whole weekend. First of all, I'd like to thank David Almadova, Brian Santiago, President Reese, Vorking, everyone that has been involved with this weekend, because it's been unbelievably incredible for my family and for my loved ones to be able to experience this. So thank you so much. I'd also obviously love to thank my coach, Dave Rose, who is here, former athletic director, Tom Homo. Incredible stuff. I have a lot of former teammates who are here in the building tonight, and I wanted to thank them for letting me shoot so much. I appreciate that. I also wanted to thank my lovely wife and my son, Taft, my daughter, Wesley, and my other daughter, Grayson, and obviously my parents, my brother, sister, Tammy and Rich, my wife's parents who are here. Thank you so much for being here, and everybody that came to support. I have had some of the greatest memories of my life literally right here inside of this court. And it has been an absolute privilege to be able to play at Brigham Young University. When I was a small town boy from Glens Falls, New York, I didn't really know what it meant to play at Brigham Young University. But when I got out here, I found out quickly that it is way more than just basketball. And that is something that is extremely important for me. I know that my name, wherever I have gone in this world to play basketball, which has been far and wide, been fortunate to play everywhere, I am always known as Jimmer from BYU. Always. And I love that, and I take that responsibility very seriously. From playing here to being someone who is trying to go forth and serve as this university tells us to go and do. And I am so grateful to be able to have brought that with me, to be a disciple of Christ, to be someone who's trying to bring people to Christ. That has been a huge mission because of this university. I am so grateful to be standing in front of you all tonight. BYU Nation, you made this all possible. You made this all possible. Without each and every one of you that have supported me throughout my career, and I felt it everywhere that I have gone, I wouldn't be standing here today. And I just wanted to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you, BYU. Thank you, BYU Nation. I love you all. Go Cougs.
And I wanted to kind of bear my testimony of that during this ceremony, because that's what's important. And I have a platform to be able to do it and to share it in front of lots of different people. And I felt like that was an important part of it. And mention, obviously, having some great times while I was there and appreciating all the fans that came and had followed me throughout my career through the ups and downs. So I was able to jam pack a lot of it in 3 minutes, I think, but I think that was the most important stuff. And obviously after that happened and the applause that I was able to get when I got the jersey actually revealed, ingrained in my head forever. And just can see that 32 up there right now with the light shining on it and my family just hugging them the whole time. So really special.
I'm so glad that we were able to document all of that, because it was a masterful speech by you and done with no teleprompter, people. No teleprompter.
Oh, no, I go off the cuff no matter what. Like I very rarely have anything written down when I give speeches. And that's not the case when I started, but now I really like to speak from the heart, and whatever comes up, that's what I'm going to say. And, that's what came up. And it was obviously very important for me to get that message out. And I'm excited to listen back to it because I haven't listened back to it at all yet. And sometimes when you're speaking, you don't really know, like, what did I actually say? I don't really remember. I hope it was good. And then people were saying they thought I did a good job, and I'm excited to go back and listen to it.
Masterful delivery and performance. Tip of the cap to you. Should we be surprised you're back in the Marriott Center in your safe space doing your thing, bro? That was great.
It was great.
No teleprompter, and I'm at least taking partial credit for your ad-lib skills because of this podcast.
Let's go. From the logo made me as a human being today.
You were built for that speech.
I was straight built for that speech for sure.
My goodness.
Let's go.
But not really. I mean, just you were ready for that long before you began this, but so impressive. I don't think people understand how hard it is to give a public speech like that in that moment. You got one shot to do it. And again, we have like 17 different angles of it and audio recordings of it. So you get to relive it whenever you want. Home run, a long distance 3, amazing stuff. We appreciate you walking us through each and every bit of that retirement ceremony from an emotional standpoint, and sharing that with all of our watchers and listeners, because while there were many there and 20,000 or so in the building, a lot of people wish they could be there, and now they're getting a chance to hear from you about how it all went down.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it. Thank you so much, everybody that came out and supported me. The social content was just incredible. Like, all this love and support in the comments that I've gotten, I've seen it all. And truly appreciate it. So thanks for going through it with me, and I'll be there forever. So now we move on.
And we move on to topic 2. I know that was an extra long topic 1 for obvious reasons, but as you mentioned, Jimmer, there was an actual game happening between your BYU Cougars and the visiting Colorado Buffaloes, and it was very intense. Holy cow. Stress to the max.
Yes.
Unfortunately featured an early injury to one of BYU stars and a guy I know you respect a lot, and Richie Saunders, who is now out for the season. Just, gut punch with a torn ACL, but he goes down. Yeah. BYU had to collect themselves and go and win this game and do so in overtime. What were your emotions like during the game? Because you want your jersey retired during a win, but it was very much in question.
It was awful to see Richie go down. Like, I saw that, and I didn't know exactly what happened at first, because I didn't have a great view of it, but he was down, and people were obviously very, very worried as soon as it happened. And then obviously when it was difficult for him to walk off, that was a sign of like, man, what happened? I wasn't sure if it was an ankle at first, if he got his wind knocked out of him or whatever it was. And all of a sudden, people were like speculating there was a knee injury, and we were hoping obviously that it was a hyperextension or something along those lines where he'd be able to come back in a couple of weeks. And to hear that it's a torn ACL is just devastating. So that obviously the era of the building came out pretty quickly once that happened. And then, you kind of go into the rest of the game, and Rob Wright played incredible. Played amazing basketball. AJ was all around great. We had some guys that really stepped up, and it was really tense. Like, obviously, right to the end, it was an overtime game. We had a shot to win it at the end. We missed it. It goes into overtime. We had some really big shots that went in towards the end of the game, and we ended up pulling it out. And I was just stressing the whole time. I was like, please, we got to get this win on the jersey ceremony night so that people can go home thinking like, what an incredible basketball game. What a great night. And we were able to get the win. And it was just awesome all around, instead of, having to lose the game and then going home with a sour taste in your mouth. So thank you, BYU, for getting that win, for everyone to enjoy the night, enjoy the moment. But it is, bittersweet because Richie is such a great person, such a great dude, huge part of what BYU does this year and next, or last year. And he's just a good human being. And I just feel for him. I feel for him so much because I've been in that situation. And right now he thinks his life is coming to an end. And it's really hard to think that way because that's what you see in front of you. You're like, I have another year before I can get back on the court, and all this stuff I have in front of me that I was doing. And, he had aspirations and all these things. So everyone reach out to Richie and make sure that, to show love and respect to him, because he'll be back. He's a tough kid. He's a fighter. He'll be back, and he has everything in front of him. Just doesn't feel that way sometimes.
No doubt you, of all people, can understand what it's like to have something taken away at a very untimely way and situation. So well said by you. We wish Richie a speedy recovery. Glad BYU got the win. And like you said, now it's about pushing on and coming back stronger. And if there is somebody that can do it, it's Richie Saunders.
Yes, it absolutely is. And from the team's perspective, they need to, understand, hey, this is the new norm. We're going to play for Richie. We're going to go out there and do it. Guys are going to have to step up. And I think we have good basketball players that are on the bench that haven't played much this year. They're going to have to step up. And obviously AJ and Rob are going to have to play some really great basketball, but they still have an opportunity to be really great ahead. So I'm looking forward to them fighting that battle and kind of rising to the occasion.
The third topic is a quick one here in the Early Trey, Jimmer, and it deals with your wardrobe choice for the jersey retirement, because the hat was fire, the jacket was awesome, and your shoes, Jimmer, your Louis Vuitton shoes were chef's kiss. Mwah.
Let me tell you something. I've never worn a Louis Vuitton shoe before. Okay, I'm just going to put that out there. It was the first time my wife bought them Christmas, hoping that this would be for this occasion at some point. Literally haven't worn them. They are each 5 pounds. They are the heaviest shoe I have ever experienced in my entire life. I was walking around in ankle weights, basically. Got a workout going upstairs because of these shoes. But they look good. I got a lot of compliments on them, so that's always good. The jacket from My Dearest Friends was amazing. Go out and check that out. Had the From the Logo pod patches on it. Had the Built, little thing, emblem on the side. Awesome stuff. And then Wooden Grill did an incredible job with the hat. So it was the wardrobe was definitely something that people talked about. They saw it, they loved it, and I can't take credit for it, but it was really, really well done by everybody involved. So,
Jimmer Fredette, fashion icon, ladies and gentlemen. Well done.
Thank
goodness. Tip of the cap to you, brother.
It's about time.
The Early Trey, and From the Logo, no less. Let's take our first break. When we come back, Michigan Offensive Coordinator for Wolverine football, Jason Beck, takes on the full court press, how faith has guided him through an unbelievable 5-year journey, moving 4 times, and why his career has ascended so rapidly. When From the Logo continues, presented by Built.
It's like you're diving into brownie bliss with chocolatey, gooey lava that erupts in a world of flavor. And it has 17 grams of protein.
What the puff? Hit me. Oh!
Fluffy, chocolatey, and packed with protein. What the puff? Built Puff.
Welcome back to From the Logo with Jimmer Fredette, teamed up with Built. It is time for the full court press with today's VIP guest. And today's VIP is brand new Michigan football offensive coordinator Jason Beck. His meteoric rise in the college football coaching ranks has been incredible, frankly, deserved. 4 moves in 5 years, and from offensive coordinator at New Mexico to offensive coordinator at Michigan in less than 2 years is wild. The man produces consistently high-scoring offenses and develops quarterbacks into pro prospects. He's a winner. Jimmer and I recently spoke with Jason, and that full conversation starts now. Jason, first and foremost, great to reconnect, my friend, and what a crazy time of life for you. So let's zoom out a little bit and just ask you this question. How would you describe the last 2 months of your life?
No, it's been a lot of fun. It's been kind of wild. When I took the Utah job, a big part of that was thinking my daughter's going into high school and we'll be able to be here for a little while because you knew who the head coach in waiting was. And so when that happened, and yeah, who would have known, one season and Coach Wick got the job here at Michigan and wanted me to come, and here we are, so totally unexpected, but it was it's been a fun ride and excited about the opportunity here.
Yeah, and when I say, Jason Beck, Michigan Wolverines offensive coordinator, like what emotions come to your head knowing that you're the offensive coordinator of one of the biggest programs in the country?
I mean, I don't know. I try not to think about it that much. Just, you kind of work hard to do the best you can each season. And it's like you kind of have a new thing and you're just starting the journey kind of new again. So you just show up and just one day at a time with what's needed. And at first it was retaining the team like crazy and transfer portal, and you just get going with putting a new offense in. So, been through this a few different times, but excited obviously to be here at Michigan and the opportunity to be the coordinator here.
Yeah, you speak about going through this. Let's go ahead and document this because this is wild, and you can correct any part of this if you'd like to. You've moved 4 times in the last 5 years, from Virginia to Syracuse in 2022, then from Syracuse to New Mexico in 2024. New Mexico to Utah in 2025, and now Utah to Michigan in 2026. So the ascent has been awesome and remarkable to watch in your professional career, but it takes a toll on family, no doubt. So what's been the most difficult part of this, in a word, transient lifestyle that is just part of the nature of coaching in college football?
Yeah, it is with the families, especially as the kids get older. When they were young, that was a lot easier. As they're older, that's hard for the family, those big moves and the impact that can have on them. So that's a huge priority for us, just taking care of everybody and making sure it's a great situation. And yeah, we went to Virginia. We had a nice 6-year run there where we were there, and then kind of an unexpected change when Bronco stepped down. And you just, in this profession, we talk as a family, you just take it 1 year at a time. Because you just don't know what each year can bring and the opportunities and what may happen. And, sometimes they're telling you to leave, and then other times you have opportunities to leave. And so you just take it 1 year at a time and see what's next. It's neat because we've been places we never would have gone. Sports would just take you to places you'd have no idea about, and the experiences you have, the people you meet, the connections. It's incredible. We've loved every place we've been, and you just never know where it could take you.
Yeah, from someone who has been, to China to play basketball, to Greece to play basketball, to Mongolia, to Kosovo, and all over the U.S., I understand completely what you're saying, and it's like, man, I'd never thought that basketball or sports in general would have taken me to these places to be able to meet different people, different cultures, different ethnicities, all of these different things. That's really a joy, but at the same time, it is difficult traveling with family, having to be away from family during specific times. You're talking about right now how you're having to split time kind of between Michigan and going back to Utah, where your family is. Obviously, your kids are still in school there, so there's that whole dynamic. There's a lot of things that people don't actually think about that comes into play during this. And obviously your daughter, she's a high level soccer player, right? So like that's a whole dynamic too. What has been more satisfying for you, not watching your daughter continue to progress in soccer and watching that, or watching, one of your teams have a perfect play? Like they ran like the most perfect play you possibly drew up, and all of a sudden it was a touchdown. You're like, I told you so, this was going to happen. What's the best?
That's funny because they're so different. Like when you're coaching, you're just into it in the moment, the calls, you're involved in it. When you're a parent watching your child play, it is like, that's 2 totally different worlds. So
I know.
I just sit far out away on the side, not yelling anything to anybody I shouldn't, to keep my distance. But no, it's awesome to see her do something she enjoys, she loves, she works hard at it, she's committed to it. And like you said, it's hard that you don't think about. And anytime you do something hard, that brings good opportunities that you can grow from, or, it can be really challenging and kind of set you back. And so she's had to, every time you break into a new team and make new friends, and man, there's some real challenges there that I don't know what she has in store with her life, but there's some experiences here she's gaining that's preparing her for whatever that is, because there's a purpose to it. And, you look back and it all makes sense. In a moment, we'll figure out what it is years from now. But she's definitely being prepared for something, because these things are coming to her. She's doing awesome and thriving, but it's not easy. And it's helping her develop into for her purpose and her journey in life and where it will take her.
Oh, incredible insight. Jason Beck is on From the Logo, offensive coordinator for the University of Michigan. So I just need to ask a follow-up question there, because I've always appreciated how even-tempered you are, Jason. You never get too high, you never get too low. But in the instance where you're watching your daughter play soccer, is this where you lose the emotional control at times and you have to distance yourself?
Totally. I mean, it's like, for the most part, enjoying the game and you're a proud parent. But, man, it's easy to be critical of, some 13-year-old ref out there. At that moment, that game's a big deal, when in reality you step back and it is not, But you just got to get, as a competitive person, you get caught up in those things, and it's easy to take it way too serious and way too competitive. When you step back and you stay away, then it's a lot better.
Yeah, and I help coach, part-time at a high school here in Colorado. I help with Chatfield boys, a varsity high school basketball, and shout out to Chatfield. But I get that same way. Like, I get in these games and I see the refs, and all of a sudden I'm just like, I'm so mad, and I'm only there part-time, and it's not even my kid, and it's just like, I can't control myself sometimes. So it's one of those things. It's hilarious to think about. But we got to transition to talk about your twin boys as well, right? You have twin boys at home, which is incredible. What are their interests? They destined to play some football, or are they like other sports? Like, what's going on with your twin boys?
It was pretty wild. When we left BYU and Bronco went to Virginia, they were not even 1 year old. So they were
crazy.
Yeah, less than one. And so they're, 10, almost 11 years old. We just they play everything, whatever's in season. They kind of do that sport. So doing basketball right now. They play soccer kind of year round, just to keep them really active. They've done flag football and baseball, but they are begging my wife to play tackle football. Because in Utah, it's such a football place that all their friends in school play tackle football. So they want to play tackle. Where other states we've been in, it hasn't been that way. Their friends do all kinds of different things. But in Utah, everybody is on this tackle football team. So they're just begging to start it. And so they'll probably play here in the next year or two. I never played tackle until I was in 7th grade. So I haven't been on a big rush that they need to get going. But, yeah, they just kind of play all sports. They love golf. So we've been playing more golf in the summers because I want to take them out just so they're decent at it, and get exposed to it. So, yeah, they love everything, and we'll kind of see where it takes them and what they do.
Jason, we've come a long way from sharing ideas and notes in our communications law class with Professor Ed Carter at BYU back in 2006. By the way, what grade did you get in that class?
Man, I sure it was an A, but I can't remember,
Hindsight,
but
2020.
If I look at an A,
We got to go back and look.
Of course it was an A.
Yeah, that's right.
Jason was sitting behiing me copying my notes, okay? Just throwing it out there.
Yeah, just go with the opposite. Unexpected is the
Yeah, right.
opposite.
Whatever he's done.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the best way. I do that too. I'm with you.
Now, I distinctly remember you telling me about your fiance at the time, now your wife, Jamie, and kind of watching that relationship through your eyes a little bit. Talk to me about your All-American soccer player wife and how excited you were to spend time with her and be with her. And I know what she's meant for you in your professional venture. And it's just fun to watch her document many of your family's adventures on social media and beyond. This is probably an impossible question, but how has the decision to marry your sweetheart, Jamie, impacted your life the most?
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, it's one of those things you look back and you were like, man, did I hit a home run in that thing? And how important that is for your life, you know? I just knew I was supposed to marry her, that she was the one. And it all makes sense in hindsight that she was such an accomplished athlete, so driven. And as part of that, it hasn't necessarily been easy, but she's, just been amazing being together in this journey. And she's into it as much as anybody. She's committed to the program and the kids, and seeing everybody succeed and do well, and the ups and the downs, that come with every season. And so no, she's incredible. You have no idea, it's important. That's a major thing. But you just have no idea how huge that is and the impact it has on you as a person. And Jamie's incredible. She's great mom to our kids and a supporter, and huge blessing to my life. So there's no doubt she's every bit as responsible for the success and the things we've been able to do because of everything she brings, Well,
if we can pull back the curtain a little bit and just go to the timeline of how everything went down with this most recent move from Utah to Michigan, when did you first get news that, okay, there's a real chance, or I've been offered to be the offensive coordinator of Michigan? And then what was that conversation like with Jamie when you were saying, hey, so we may need to move again?
Yeah, it kind of came up in this world as a coach gets serious into the opportunity that might come up. You kind of hear about it. So, hey, if this happens, I'd love for you to go, type of thing. But, they fall through and don't happen as much as more frequently than they do happen. So it's kind of on the radar as a possibility that could come up, But I really found out right as we were getting ready to leave for the bowl game in Vegas. I mean, I think it was right before we left, I found out they offered with the job. And it was the morning we took off for the bowl game that I found out he accepted the job. And so at that point, now you have a decision to make. And we loved our time at Utah. It was great. I mean, everything about it, we had a great situation. Everything was really positive, where we could have been there and loved it for years.
Yeah.
And didn't really necessarily want to move the family like we kind of have talked about. So it was a hard decision. But that's when it kind of really became serious, and ultimately just came down to such a great opportunity. And Jamie and my family really wanted me to do it and be a part of it. And so we, kind of made it happen, and here we are.
It's great to have someone by your side that is so supportive like that is able to help you during the difficult times, and also just be game to do whatever needs to be done. Right. And I'm sure she is just as competitive as you are as well, being an athlete herself, and someone that wants you to succeed, wants the team to succeed, wants the family to succeed. So I think that really, really helps. Two-part question for you, Jason. Have you been in the big house for an actual football game yet with fans in there? Like, have you been as an opponent to be able to coach there? And then also, what excites you most about being a part of Michigan football going into next season?
So I did come and play at Michigan. It was with BYU. So the year
in 15, 2015.
When Taysom got hurt and Tanner was our quarterback, we
yes.
and it was
yes.
a rough game. Now We had some,
Yeah.
we had the Hail Mary win against Nebraska. That was incredible.
Yes.
Almost as
Yep.
dramatic against Boise. And we came out, we either played UCLA and then came out here. I can't remember. And man, we just got our butt kicked. That was a hard game because we played so bad on offense. But, so been here with that. And then, what you're excited about here is, you are one of the top programs in college football. You have really good players, and you have a chance to win everything. I mean, there's a lot of places there's certain things you're working with and blah, blah, blah. But here, they're the winningest program in college football history. And so you have a chance to win at the highest level and to be on the biggest stage. So next year we play 4 playoff teams from this last year playoff thing. And so big games and big opportunities and on the big stage, which you're excited about as a competitor to do that.
Jason, what kind of offense and team do you feel like you're inheriting and putting together at Michigan for your initial campaign in 2026?
It's too early to tell. We will build this thing around our players and who they are and what they do. Last year we were more run heavy because that just fit who we were, especially, your quarterback drives that as much as anything, and then everybody around them. But so as we get working with these kids and in spring ball, that identity will start to unfold and we'll see. So it's kind of too early to tell, but we're always going to be looking to attack, be aggressive, play through the quarterback, let him drive our success. And there's a really talented quarterback here in Bryce Underwood, who's a young kid and played as a true freshman, which is tough to do. And so excited about working with him and kind of getting the ball going as spring ball approaches.
Yeah, there's no doubt that you have some talent on that roster. I think everybody knows that Michigan's able to, recruit top level talent, which is incredible, and excited to watch this season as you guys continue to progress and understand that. Now, you've been with some really great coaches, worked with Bronco Mendenhall and Coach Whittingham, and obviously back with Coach Witt here in Michigan. I'm curious of, the influences of these coaches that you've been around. What are some of the things that you have taken away from them to help build your coaching philosophy and just how they are as human beings and how they build programs?
Oh, it's so valuable to be around Bronco and how disciplined, organized, the culture. Like he just excels at developing the culture of the team and the guys. That those lessons you take away are huge. The other one that has been an absolute huge influence and mentor to me is Robert and I. You spent so much of your time as an offensive staff together. And so those 10 years I was with him when he was the offensive coordinator, and just how we adapt the offense to the talent we have, and the way he did that was amazing. Dino Babers at Syracuse was an awesome influence, was with him a couple years, learned a lot from him and kind of that Baylor style of offense that they played and how he led more individually. He did a lot of like one-on-one leadership. And then with Witt, the culture of just blue collar, physical, tough. He's been so successful in how he's done it. And it's awesome to see each person and how they lead the team and to learn from those talents and strengths that they have.
Jason Beck is on From the Logo, Michigan Offensive Coordinator, and it's fascinating to hear about the influences and the coaching profession that have impacted you. And you probably don't take enough credit for what you're doing, Jason, because you've been around for a long time. But, I've noticed this trend of quarterbacks specifically that you've worked with going back to your days at BYU. You had Taysom Hill. He was a Heisman Trophy candidate in 2014 until he broke his leg. And then Tanner Mangum takes over. He's a freshman All-American under you. Then you leave and decided to go to Virginia, you jerk. I kid. But the trend continued there with Kurt Benkert and Bryce Perkins. And now you've got Devin Dampier most lately at Utah, and Bryce Underwood is going to be your next quarterback at Michigan. I don't know what you're doing, but I'm going to call you the quarterback whisperer, Jason. Like what has been the key to you helping these guys evolve and in many of their cases become NFL quarterbacks?
It's a complicated question, but a couple parts of it are build the offense around their strengths, which is so important. It's do what they do best so they can be confident and thrive and do well. And the second thing is the ability to understand each quarterback, and understand how they think, what they're comfortable with, so you can teach and develop them and put that offense around that characteristic. Because, just how they think, how they operate, to understand that and then be able to develop them to be successful is kind of the key for me. And like I mentioned, it's all about building around strengths and not trying to force a guy to do something he just isn't the best at, but that's what I like to do, so just adapt and be that way. And so we've been on the spectrum. Like our 1 year at Virginia in 21, we were like the number 2 offense in the country throwing the ball.
Yeah.
So we're throwing it for 440 a game. And, but man, that fit Brennan and that fit that style versus with Devin this past year, who can really do it all, but such a dynamic runner. And so, more play to his strengths, his abilities. And so really try to build the offense that way and understand how they think, how they process, and how to help them, be their best and put them in those positions.
And I find that great coaching staffs and great coaches, they are able to do that, right? And when I was at BYU, Coach Rose was there. He was an awesome coach. When I first came to BYU, it was very big centric. Like we threw it into the post and we kind of played around and was able to go and get shots up and do that type of thing. And then as I got, me and Jackson Emery kind of kept going and getting better and better as a backcourt, he's like, all right, we're changing it. We're going guard centric now. Ball in their hands, pick and roll offense, transition offense, these types of things. So you always want to be able to play to those strengths to your point, which I love to hear. And I think that's a sign of great quarterback, or great leadership, in that. To another 2-part question for you. First off, you got to give some love to my upstate New York, Syracuse. How was your time at Syracuse? Like, how was that? Like, freezing cold up there. It's going to be very similar to a Michigan, as far as the weather's concerned. How was your time at Syracuse? And then I'll have follow-up after that.
So, you in this profession, you move like the beginning of January. So that's not a great first impression.
It is terrible.
We got terrible. Up there. We drove up there from Virginia because it's like a 6-hour drive. And Jamie and I drove up there. Her mom was watching the kids and just check out the area before it covered. The first day we were there, the high was 1 degree. It's everything, the trees are there. Everything's great. And you're just like, what did we get into, But we loved it. Had a great time there. Something I had no idea about was our temple was the Palmyra Temple. So Syracuse, we're like an hour or 15 minutes from the Sacred Grove.
Amazing.
Yeah. I had never been to those places, the Hill Cumorah. Then there's like the river, Susquehanna River, the temple. Anyways, to see those things, something I learned about, anyways, that was awesome. And like, in life, things happen. Leaving Virginia was not expected. Landing at Syracuse, you're not quite sure, what's going on. And then it turns out that, I was there a year and then, promoted me to be at the OC. And, man, it just ended up being a huge blessing, a huge opportunity, and loved our time there. Great people. We had a great experience and really enjoyed New York. You got to, tough the winners, but you can't beat it the rest of the year.
It's exactly right. I've been there, lived there for 18 years, that area. So the winters are tough, the spring and the falls and everything are great. But no, I love to hear that. And just, and as a follow up on that, talking about, your faith and being able to go to some of these historic places, that the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints have, and being a faithful man yourself, how have you been able to bring your faith with you wherever you've gone and kind of implement that into your coaching style and how you kind of, lead your team and your players? Because it's not easy to do, specifically in a sport like football.
Yeah, you kind of, from what's most important. And I've kind of figured that out on, as you grow and mature and what you want your priorities to be. And for me, that's number one. And so to start my day in a meaningful way, to put God first and those things, I always want that to be most important. I always want my family to be a priority. Now you put such time and energy into your profession, into your job. And yeah, just the opportunity to work with kids, to do something you both love, coaching football and them playing football, but at the same time to try to be, to help these kids grow, have success in what's important to them, and to be a part of that process is really rewarding. And so, that is the most important thing to me. It helps me by putting those things first, helps me in my job, and it helps me focus more on what's really important in this thing. And it is the relationships and it is the development of people. As you're, working to have a great offense and score points and win games, which determines whether I keep a job or not. So,
I guess.
So it's just kind of balance.
Yes,
all
it
that
does.
Stuff.
Hey, out of curiosity, what would the scouting report be on Jason Beck out of Bakersfield, California in 2003 or whenever it was you were initially recruited to BYU?
Is what I generally do when I'm out recruiting is I just want to make sure I'm bringing in players who are better than I am. But then I feel I remember watching a kid one time and being like, man, he reminds me a lot of myself, And I was like, man, that's not good enough. We need better. So I just keep that standard. They better be a better player than I am, and then I'll look like a way better coach, So
I still remember you going big time against Utah State, 2006, Jason, stepping in, doing your thing.
If it wasn't for this, second round draft pick John Beck guy, who knows what would have happened.
Who the heck was that?
Unfortunate timing, which is what led me to coaching, right? Wasn't working out. I better get into coaching, I guess.
Well, and that leads me to my next question as we get close to wrapping up with you. What was it that initially made you think, I really want to consider coaching football?
I never did think that. My whole time through college, I was all about going to law school. And so there are a couple influential people, a guy on my mission I knew, my uncle, who were attorneys, and they had great lives, So it was like, all right, I should probably do that type of thing. And so that was my whole plan. I did the LSATs. I applied to law schools. But I had one more season of eligibility. But I was done with all my undergrad work. So I put off graduation for a semester, and I took this pre-law class. And it was awesome. You'd go in each week. Somebody would come in from a different field and talk about what they do. And then you'd write a paper about it. So anyways, no offense to all the attorneys out there, but these guys would come in every week and I was like, I do not want to do any of this. And it caused me to really look at, what do I want to do? Because my dad always emphasized to find something you really enjoy doing and make a living doing that. And so in that moment of, no, I do not want to do this, and I'm in my last season, and, it just hit me how obvious I wanted to. Football's always been my passion. But I had only thought about coaching, only was aware of coaching high school and teaching. And I knew I didn't want to do that. There was nothing I was passionate about teaching in high school. And, I didn't know if I'd be able to make enough money to support a family and, all that stuff. And then the light just finally went off on, oh, you can coach professionally or college, and so, man, it was just thankful for that experience that kind of shifted my path and sent me down that thing and got into coaching. So, but that was, my dad's thing was always find something you really enjoy doing and make a career out of that. And the light bulb finally went off my very last semester after I had graduated, and just doing that, to send me down this path.
Well, thanks, obviously, Jason, for your time. I do have one more question one more comment / question before we finish up. Obviously, you are now with Michigan Wolverines football. You just got there. I just want to leave it open for you to give your Michigan fans a little bit of, not necessarily advice, but what's to come for this season. Maybe sending them a message of what to expect this season, and kind of open it up to you to talk to the Michigan fans out there.
Yeah, especially offensively, this whole thing is built around who are our best players and putting them in positions to be successful. And so that's what we'll just look at, identifying and building this offense around them. It starts with the quarterback. It goes to the O-line next. What can they do? And then all the skill guys. And so, in the real football lingo, like sometimes you're 12 personnel, 11 personnel, 10 personnel, I don't build it around this certain thing I like to do. I want to build it around who are our best players, what are their strengths, and let's adapt it to them. And quarterback play is the number one thing to be an elite offense. Your quarterback has to play at a high level for the whole thing to take off. And so that's our whole mission, is to develop a high-level quarterback and build an offense around him and around all the strengths of your players to score points and win games. Because if you score more than the other team, you're going to win. And that's what it's all about, on Saturdays. So, that's
I know
the whole point.
I know that well too, Jason. You score more than the other team. It doesn't matter what the defense does. That's what I said. I don't need to play any defense. Just let me score. We got you. We're on the same page.
There we go.
Yeah.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is elite coaching philosophy right there.
That's
there.
right.
All right, Jason, as we say goodbye, a couple of things. One, stay warm. By the way, how warm is it in Michigan in early February?
We had that one cold front, but today the high's 21.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Terrible?
Yeah.
Not terrible.
Workable. And then when is your family planning on joining you in Michigan? Like, when is this move going to take place?
Most likely after the school year. So we'll finish up the school year and then come out after that. But it's a fluid situation, it's always when do you find the home and, everything else. So, but that's the current plan.
On a scale of things you hate the most, where does moving rank?
Oh, yeah. That, the worst is when you move somewhere and then while you're there, you have to move again. Oh. Because it's really hard to go somewhere and just nail it right on the head, exactly where to live in the best situation. So sometimes you get somewhere and you move while you're there. That's the one that really hurts, both because it's hard, and two, you got to pay for that one by yourself. The first one, the school pays for it. The second one, that's out of your own pocket. So
that's all right.
So hopefully we'll take our time, find the perfect thing, and, just hit this thing one time.
Make it work. Okay, here, yes, fingers crossed. Only one move to Michigan. And then I have some unique things. This feels like the appropriate time to show off this.
Oh, my goodness.
Authentic custom Holiday Bowl BYU Michigan hat. This is straight out of 1984 in the Holiday Bowl. And I thought, worlds are colliding here today. Let's show this thing off, man. Let's go.
That's awesome. You know what was wild? And I recruited a kid who his dad was the quarterback for Michigan in that game, Zerbrun. What? Yeah, he was a kid out of Ohio.
Really?
And his dad was started that game. So small world, you know.
No doubt about it.
Anything antique with BYU, Spencer has.
Yeah,
Like, I've learned
like-
to find that. That's what he does.
Deep diving on eBay.
He's got all the random stuff. Stats, hats.
That's so old.
It's
Oh my
unbelievable.
gosh.
That is
It's
amazing.
almost as old as we are, Jason. Almost.
Let's go.
Hey, I mean this when I say it. It's so great to catch up with you, brother. We know how busy you are and things are going on, but let's not make this the last time. We're going to be checking in with you because obviously we're huge fans of you, and that makes us huge fans of Michigan Wolverines football.
All right. Well, yeah, great to be on with you guys. Appreciate it. And yeah, we'll do it again.
Michigan football was an absolute home run hire, or should I say touchdown hire. You know what I'm trying to say. Let's call a timeout. When we return, Jimmer and I open up the mailbag of listener questions and comments in our open gym. We are built from the logo, and the show rolls on after this.
The saying goes, you shouldn't cry over spilled milk. But what if the milk you spilled is spilt milk? Your favorite treat ruined by your clumsiness. And now those 20 delicious grams of day-powering protein and that perfect boost of caffeine are everywhere but where they should be. Your mouth. So cry over your spilt, turn on your sad sprinklers, then stand tall and buy a fresh spilt at a retailer near you. Spilled. Milk worth crying over.
From the logo with Jimmer Fredette rolls on, and we now open up things to our listeners and viewers with your submitted questions and comments from social media straight to us. Jimmer, it's time for me to fully caffeinate and get ready for this.
Get that open. Get that spilt going.
Your spilled flavor of the day is just chocolate milk, baby. Let's go.
It's pretty fire. I will say that.
It's delicious.
It's pretty fire.
All right. Caffeine incoming and in a chocolate milk form. All right, Jimmer, start us off. Loaded open gym today.
Let's go. We got a lot of comments, questions. So our first comment comes from YouTube on our short where I couldn't pull up my tickets. Okay. Reminds me, all right, sorry, this is from @Ryan Frieden, however you say that. Reminds me of the days when him and the team used to have to show wristbands to get shots up at the RB. What are we doing? Listen, okay. Like I said, I will partially take blame for some of this, okay? I was up for, 35 to 40 minutes the night prior getting tickets to everyone, right? Because they gave me, they're like, here's 95 tickets. You disperse them. Okay, so I had to get everyone's email addresses, text messages, and be like, all right, where are they sitting? What section? How many people do they have in their section? All of this stuff. And then you had to text it out to everybody. So I did that. Whitney and I went through the whole list. We had the graph. We had the charts. We had it all set up. Got the text messages out. We did all 95 of them, right? And then we get to the game. And I forgot that I didn't do my own tickets. Okay? I didn't do my own tickets. I didn't send myself my tickets. So I'm like, trying to pull them up. I'm like, I don't have my tickets. I'm sitting there. And the guy's like, you know what? You're probably good to go through. I was like, no, I got to make sure that I get the tickets.
Oh,
right?
You insisted that something got scanned.
I did. I had to do that. The guy was great. It wasn't like he was just making it so that I couldn't get in. He obviously he was ready.
Again?
Yeah, exactly. He was ready with the scanner. He was ready to go. But at the same time, I didn't even know where I was sitting. So I had to get the tickets out, get them in my Apple Wallet so I could scan them and get in there and be like, all right, I actually know where we're sitting now because I completely spaced doing it for our own family. So that is, I will take blame on that. Obviously, I think he would have let me in if I really pushed for it. But, we're all rule followers here on From the Logo. That's what we do. And it was important that I got the tickets scanned because, we wanted to make sure there was a full sellout. That's a big deal.
Had it not worked, you had a billion options, including calling me because I know some people. But also, you could have just said, hey, my ticket is that big jersey hanging in the rafters.
Let me come show you. Real quick. Okay, that's from now on that it's actually up there. That'll be the move. Hey, just so you know, let me show you real quick. I'm just going to pull you over here real quick. You go ahead and look up. That's my ticket. There you go.
Permanent ticket.
That's right.
Oh, my goodness. By the way, happy to report that because BYU basketball has their own annex and practice facility, nobody will ever have to go what you went through just trying to get shots up in preparation for a season where you're talking to the volleyball coach, Sean Olmstead, and negotiating your way into the Smith Fieldhouse just to get shots up because they kick you out of the RB.
Listen, we got to talk about that in another pod, okay? Because
yes,
I got to go through the whole story.
Yes.
And I feel like I don't have time right near on this open gym segment because we have a big open gym segment. But I am going to tell you that full story because we did not have a practice facility. We could not find a place to shoot. We'll go through it another time.
All right. Up next is our built question/comment of the week and comes from Instagram on our Jimmer's retirement in 60 seconds reel, which was so fantastic. Shout out to Brett Hammer and Hemahe Mooley and so many others involved in getting that together. MD Nielsen says, how about the shoe game for elders Bednar and Rasband, apostles for the Quorum of the 12, Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints? MD Nielsen says, love you, Jimmer. Best to ever do it for the Cougs. Never a more exciting time to watch BYU basketball than when you played.
Man, there were 4 apostles at the game for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Elder Gilbert, who just barely got put in as apostle.
Yes.
Elder Anderson, Elder Bednar, Elder Rasband. All 4 of them was able to shake all their hands. Really awesome experience. Their shoe game is way better than people think. Like they go with the suits, but a lot of times they're wearing like these nice Nikes or Jordans or like a nice shoe. It's not always just a dress shoe because I mean they got to walk around a lot. They got to keep their feet comfortable. So they have the suit up top and they got the party down low just to make sure that they have the nice little the shoe game. But they are the best. I was so happy to meet. I've met a couple of them before, but meet a few new ones, and just to have them there was a absolute honor.
They weren't wearing 5-pound Louis Vuittons.
No, they weren't.
But it was still great.
Yes. Oh, it was great stuff. Yeah. Those, if anyone needs a workout, get the Louis Vuittons. Let's just put it that way. So,
what do you have for us next, Jimmer?
This next one is from our podcast with Yegor Dioman, right? And the All-Star Game champ in the Rising Stars game. Yep. A very impressive young man, grounded and clear-minded.
How do you not love Yegor?
This is from, just to mention, at BICISSIPPI.
Is that Mississippi?
Mississippi, I'm pretty sure. So that's a great name, by the way. Yegor is just truly a very grounded human being. He's just awesome. I mean, obviously he's been playing great basketball the last half of the season, had a great All-Star game. I mean, they were the champions. They won. He was able to hold the trophy. He's got Vince Carter by his side. He was with Dwayne Wade during the All-Star game. I mean, he's meeting everybody. He's having a great time, great experience, but it does not change who that guy is. And I love it. He is such a good dude.
We love Yegor. As you mentioned, Rising Stars champ at the All-Star game, one of the best three-point shooters in the NBA. How about that?
Amazing.
Final submission, Jimmer, from Instagram on a reel of you opening the special edition Wooden Grail hat from GWW687. You may or may not know this person, Jimmer.
Oh, I know.
I know you do. They say this. Worst hat ever. Why'd they ruin it with your face?
You want to know something? Garrett, okay, that's my brother-in-law, okay? Do you see what I'm dealing with over here in Whitney's family with my brother-in-law? I mean, absolute just nonsense. The hat was fire. My face looks phenomenal. And it made the hat even better that my face was on there. Okay, Garrett? That's what I have to say about that. Wooden Grill absolutely crushed it. And goodness gracious.
This is what brothers-in-law do, yes. And I enjoyed talking with Garrett during your banquet.
Unbelievable. Only positive comments from the logo, okay? If you have something negative to say, just keep it to yourself. All right, everyone? Thank you.
Jimmer, you've actually entered the proper mindset for our next miniature segment, which is gaining popularity so fast. It is time for Spencer's Grammar Pet Peeve of the Week. Now, many of you have noticed our interstitial, the graphic that shows up before we begin this segment, has misspelled the word grammar. So here to explain himself for that error is our producer, Hema Heimuli. Hema, what's going on, man?
Hema, what's up, my man?
Okay, let me just say that this part of the show was created because I'm more of like on Jimmer's level where like spelling doesn't matter. It's fluid. It's whatever you want it to be, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's hilarious that Spencer loses his mind every week correcting us on our spelling and our grammar. So I thought it would be hilarious to spell grammar incorrectly. I know how to spell grammar, but Spencer, I think I'm wrong. I think everyone by and large shares your point of view of spelling and grammar. I mean, look, I've got a Spylt drink here. Spylt is spelled with a Y here.
That is not the correct spelling.
Cares.
We're taking liberties. We're taking liberties.
They only care if a humble producer spells grammar incorrectly.
I'll tell you what, Hema, I thought it was an amazing touch. I think it's hilarious.
Thank you.
I absolutely loved it. Everyone out there, like I said, positive comments only. Don't be haters. This is hilarious. This is perfect by Hema. And I will say, my mother-in-law, my mom, my wife, they all love the segment.
Yes.
Okay? They love the segment because they're always on my grammar. So I think we're, not in the norm, Hema. People like to spell stuff correctly, I guess. So Spencer,
anyways,
good job, Spencer.
to close what I'm going to say, it's staying. It's not changing.
No,
it's going to be ER on the pod.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Let's go.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you don't change it now. You live that life. Okay.
No.
By the way, your sister Lindsay, huge fan of the grammar segment and the podcast.
Yeah, Lindsay is too. Oh, gosh.
It's good to talk to your mom about the podcast, too. We got K support. That matters.
Yeah, if you got K support, that's you're doing something right. I'll tell you that much.
Shout out to @Tchew2 who did bring up we may need a spelling segment for future episodes after that grammar graphic. It was purposeful, folks.
It absolutely was.
Very creative, very witty. It was on purpose. Now to the actual grammar or spelling pet peeve of the week. And I offer it with this premise, Jimmer. If you've ever seen the show that was so popular in the early 2000s, I think it launched around 2002 and ran 8 seasons till about 2010, but the show was called 24. And it featured an unforgettable character named Jack Bauer.
Jack Bauer, baby.
It felt like he was always trying to disable a nuclear bomb, a nuclear threat. But here's the issue, Jimmer. He would say, nuclear. It's not nuclear. It's nuclear. Just read it like it's spelled. How do the Hollywood producers let this go on for 8 seasons without correcting Kiefer Sutherland, who is an incredible actor? I love Jack Bauer. It's not nuclear.
Nuclear.
We are building great speakers of the English language one episode at a time. Love Kiefer Sutherland. Don't love how he says the word nuclear. All right, we survived. If you'd like to submit questions or comments for me, Jimmer, or our guests on the next show, follow us on all of our social media platforms @JimmerFTL on YouTube, Instagram, X, and TikTok. Up next, the 3x3 update. Not sure how we're going to get through it after what we just put out there, but we will. When From the Logo continues, teamed up with Spylt.
Like when Grandma was baking cookies, and she'd let you lick the batter. It feels like a fluffy hug. Cookie dough.
What the puff? This thing has 15 grams of protein.
Grandma loved protein.
So, this is your stop.
Fluffy, chocolatey, and packed with protein. What the puff? Spylt Puff.
From the Logo into the final quarter, hold 'em up with our USA Basketball 3x3 update presented by our good friends at Wilner and O'Reilly. Just call Kelly at Wilner and O'Reilly, an immigration law expert and friend of the show. WilnerO'Reilly.com. GM Jimmer, ready to go. Has the latest on the drive to gold in 2028 from his 3x3 teams across the globe, and maybe some additional insight into one of the fastest growing in terms of popularity Olympic sports in the world. Jimmer, where would you like to start us off today?
Yeah, no, it's so yesterday after the jersey ceremony, so I had to actually fly out to LA to go and do some 3x3 basketball meet and greets at the All-Star weekend. And so that was a really cool experience. We went with NBC, that's an affiliate partner, obviously for USA Basketball. So we had like a big meet and greet, and who was there was Elena Deladon, who is the 3x3 managing director on the women's side. And she's obviously a incredible basketball player, played at Delaware, Hall of Fame, USA basketball player, has won gold medals in the Olympics for the 5-on-5. She's coming over to the dark side to do 3x3 stuff, and she has been loving it. And it's been so cool to be able to talk with her. And she is in a much different position because she didn't play 3x3 basketball. So we're teaching her, and she's picking up the game so quickly because she's super smart. She understands basketball. She understands good players. But the difference that's interesting between her and what I'm doing is that she actually has availability to recruit from the WNBA to play in the Olympics, whereas I do not have that availability from the NBA to go to the Olympics, right? So it's very different how we are recruiting. The women's side, they don't have as many tournaments, so they don't play as much. So you can recruit from obviously the high level college players. You can recruit from WNBA players. You can recruit from anywhere that you want to play in the Olympics, because the WNBA does not have the same rule as the NBA does. You can play in competing leagues because a lot of those girls will go play the WNBA. Then during during the winter time, they'll actually go and play over in Europe to make money to continue to play. So, I mean, they don't have that rule. So she is now dealing with figuring out who is going to be, possibilities for that Olympic team. She just barely picked her Champions Cup team that are going to be filled with WNBA players, going out when we're playing in March. And it's been fun to talk with her and kind of just see what does an ideal 3x3 player look like? Who does that look like from a WNBA perspective? They've had girls like Kelsey Plum, who's played in the Olympics and won a gold medal. Alicia Gray. Last year, Ryan Howard was in the Olympics. These are all WNBA All-Stars that have played in the Olympics for 3x3 basketball. So it's cool, unique perspective, just a little bit of a difference between the men's and the women's game that people don't realize. So they see the WNBA players in the All-Star game or in the Olympics. They're like, wow, why can't we get NBA players in the Olympics? The rules are different. And that's how it works. But she is awesome, and we'll keep you updated on the women's side here because it's really fun to see what they're doing as well.
Great to see your teammates Dylan Travis and Kareem Maddox at your jersey retirement as well. Those guys are awesome.
They're the best. Salt of the earth guys, just incredible guys. Canyon Barrett could not make it, but he had a video. He sent out a video and he was on there in spirits. But just some of the best dudes on the planet.
Yes.
And that's why you see we love each other. It's just it was such a big bond that we had.
Jimmer, final thought from you? No teleprompter involved.
Thank you all for just this incredible weekend. Like, the jersey ceremony was just something that, like I said, is unforgettable. Thank you, Cougar Nation. Thank you to all of the basketball fans out there that are not a part of BYU, that watched college basketball, that supported me throughout my career. They were not just BYU fans out there that supported me and continue to support me. So I appreciate that. And continue to listen to the pod. We're having a great time. It's growing. We're having so much fun. Hope you enjoyed, Jason today and what he said. He was obviously awesome. And, we appreciate y'all.
Indeed. Well said once again, brother. After all of this, I'm just happy for my friend. That's what I was feeling the whole time I was watching it. Proud of you, brother.
Appreciate that, man. Means a lot.
You got it. A reminder, we are built for more. So shoot your shot in life. And remember, nuclear!
Get off of the pod. Get off of the pod.
We'll see you next time.